You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
So the Niners used their number 11 pick to select Mykel Williams out of Georgia. I think looking at this as a whole, I think this was a good pick for the Niners. I like what he does. I like what he can bring to the table in terms of a defensive line. He's a good edge setter. The last time we even had a good edge setter opposite Nick Bosa was, I'm sad to say this, but it was Cleveland Farrell. I thought he was a good, and that was one thing he did really well, because he set the edge to keep the quarterback in the pocket. He was backup though. Yeah. And so that's why I'm kind of like, okay, is this guy a starter? I think he has to be at this point. I think he's strong. He's got long arms. He's 6'5". His arm length is able to kind of give you that stretch to keep the defender away from you, and also good at shedding defenders as well. He's still got a lot to learn, a lot to develop, but this guy has the potential to be something really, really special. And when you look at who was there when they made this draft pick, I mean, your other options were what? Shamar Stewart, who was, again, another guy who has tons of potential, but was a project, right? Yeah. Mike Green, who we knew they weren't going to take. There's too many outside problems. Yeah. And, obviously, it's like Derek Harmon. But I think that when you look at the rest of their draft, they made up for not taking Derek Harmon. I think they made up really well. But I like this draft pick in Mykel Williams. At first, I was a little shocked by it, because I fully thought that they're going to go Shamar Stewart. I just did. And then when they went Mykel Williams, I was like, wow, okay. But at the end of the day, I like the draft pick. He's out of the SEC, played for Georgia. Now, Georgia does rotate their position players on defense constantly in and out. So he's not a guy who's out there for multiple consecutive possessions, just every down out there. So that may be something they do here with San Francisco. I'm not sure. But what did you think about the draft pick of Mykel Williams?
To me, it was pretty expected. I didn't think they were going to take Shamar Stewart. I didn't think they were anywhere near in on James Pierce Jr. And I think, one of the recurring themes we saw in this draft class was that they took guys that have really high floors and not the highest ceilings. Now, I think Mykel can grow as a pass rusher. One of the best things I've heard from him was in his post-draft press conference when he got back to San Francisco, met George Kittle, obviously saw John and Kyle and everything. He was asked by, funny enough, my coworker, Jake Hutchinson at 957 The Game, like, what do you need to improve upon? And he bluntly said, my pass rush plan. And it's really hard for some players to just be honest with themselves and honest with the media. Like, sometimes they don't want to they don't want to let people know what their weaknesses are. And I think for him, being honest, like, hey, and I'm sure him being that open shows that they've talked about that behind the scenes with him. Like, hey, Mykel, we love you as a run defender. You have long arms. You can reach ball carriers. You can get to quarterbacks that are mobile out of the pocket. You're super powerful. You can push the pocket around. You can play inside. You can play outside. But if we can focus your plan of attack, your upside is a lot higher than it currently is now.
Yeah.
And just him being honest, being upfront, just being open about it, to me is a good sign. But also, I think what separates him from guys like Mike Green, like James Pierce Jr., and even on day one, like Shamar Stewart, is that he's a 3-down player. And, on first and second down, you can have him play outside, set the edge. Hopefully you have Alfred Collins and CJ West or somebody else on the inside on first and second down to be a good run stopper and run defender. And once you get teams in 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, you can put him inside and have him force the pocket, use that power and push guards and centers around to get to the quarterback even more and create some havoc. So I think the big separators were, at least for myself, and I'm sure from what it sounds like with San Francisco too, is that some guys were 3rd down pass rushers. Some guys were, 1st and 2nd down players only. Mykel is one of the few players that is a 3-down player, hopefully on day one, and projects to be going forward. There's a reason why you heard Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch talk about Eric Armstead. Now, I think Mykel and Armstead are different in the way they play, but Armstead had no pass rush plan coming out of Oregon. It was all run defense. And I think you saw once year 4 hit, you saw a really good, 10.5 sack player once he had, DeForest Buckner and Nick Bosa and company, and Mykel already has Bosa there. And you're hoping that Alfred Collins or even CJ West can become your DeForest Buckner, where when Williams slides inside, he has some guys that can take up double teams for him, and he can use that power and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, even if Mykel Williams is not a huge pass rushing threat in year 1, I think he still will, accumulate sacks because you got Nick Bosa on the side. Now you have a new defensive line. I think this guy has the potential to have a good pass rush, but I think the main thing that they wanted to do was they wanted a big, strong defensive or an edge rusher, defensive end to set the corner, contain the pocket, and to stop the run. And I think that's where they're kind of going with this, because we saw last season they couldn't stop the run. It was so bad. I mean, like, you and I could have rushed for 100 yards against them, and that's how bad they were, especially late in the season. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.